Hello, my people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. I am Sandra Okwara, and this is the Learn to Thrive with me. Okay, so today we'll be talking about an important aspect, as that song indicated. Time is money. My people, time na money. Hmm, time na money, because we have to spend our time well. Over the years, my time was spent on things that didn't matter. But today, we need to stop being busy and start building our lives. So you can stop being busy and you can start building your life. Let me ask you a question. At the end of a very long day, do you feel tired in your body but empty in your spirit? Of course, you were busy, weren't you? You were busy. Yes, but were you building? Were you building something? Or you were just being busy? Now think of two men. These two men are given a strong ass each. The first man swings straight away into action at everything he sees. So he's busy cutting, he's busy all day, but only has a few branches to show for it. But there comes the second man. The man sharpens and sharpens and sharpens his axe first. He chooses the best trees, and by sunset, he has enough strong timber to build a house. Analyze it. Both men were busy, but only one of them was building a house. Only one of them was building his future. Now, too many of us, including me, have been in the shoes of the first man. Too many of us have been living like the first man. So today, I think it is important that we look at the strategies that the second man used. So I'm going to show you how to sharpen your axe, because the first man was busy cutting things, and his axe even became very blunt before you knew it. But the second man went straight into sharpening. So today we will look at how we can sharpen our axe. Give you example of how to plan so that we stop being busy and we can start building the life you and I and our families truly deserve. So I'll tell you a story. I thought at a point that my life was becoming stagnant. So I decided to go and do some studies. And I did try to see how many things I can get into my day by starting first in the morning. And I had some bite-sized courses done. I had 3 masters done in 1 year. Yes, 3 masters. Was that crazy? Yes, but it was achievable and I achieved it. So the first that we need to do is to, to think about how do we start. We need to understand what is truly important. We need to know our big stones. So the strategy that the big man took was to fill in his big stones first. So once he has sharpened his axe, he started cutting the bigger trees. He started cutting the trees that mattered. He started cutting the trees that will hold the foundation of his house. So let's take example that we've been given jars to fill. So you have a jar to fill, and I have a jar to fill. And we've been given loads of stones of different sizes and a heap of sand. Let's think of the strategy we would use. The first strategy is to first of all imagine that these stones have to be used up. And how are we going to use it? So imagine that this jar is your life, your day, and you have to fill it with these things. You have to fill it with this sponge. You have to fill it with this sand. You have to fill it with the small pebbles. How are you going to do it? Let's start with the sand. The sand, this is the small stuff, the distractions, the gossips, the excessive scrolling on the phone for no reason, the taking of calls every minute, the discussions on the phone that never end. Imagine you pouring this sand into your jar. See, it gets filled up quickly. So if you start with the sand, your jar looks full already, but there is no room for what matters. And this is the same thing when you start your day with unnecessary phone calls, when you start your day with unnecessary flipping of your phone, unnecessary gossips. It fills your day very, very quickly. Your brain is assimilated with these things that may not need to matter to your day if you're going to build a solid house and a solid foundation. So what if we start differently? What if we start with the big stones? Think of it. The big stones are the foundations of our lives. They are the family. Our community is such a big stone. your health, your faith, your dream of building and achieving, and your learning skills, learning new skills, no matter what it is. 5-minute bite-sized learning. Pick it up, learn it, keep it. You would use it one day. So now imagine yourself filling your jar with your big stones. You fill them one after the other. Now we've used up the big stones. Now we go back and begin to add the small stones. So the small stones are your daily work, your chores, the necessary errands that you need to run, your, catching up on friends and just little things. Begin to fill your jar into the spaces that the big stones have left. Imagine after filling those small stones in, you still have some space. Now we add the sand, this small stuff. And this sand, remember, are those long phone calls, there are those gossips, there are those, scrolling on the phone where you don't have an aim, you don't have a focus, you're just scrolling, whatever comes, I will say. So those are your sand, and now we pour them in. Now our jar is full, but it has everything inside. It has our big stones, our families, our friends. It has them. It has our health. It has our work. It has our little catch-ups with friends. It has everything in there. Why? Because we put the big stones in first. So this is the number one secret. In everything you do and in your life, you must decide what your big stones are. You must put them in your day before everything else. Okay, that's the good idea, isn't it? But how do you do it in real life? How do you do it in real life? And to do this, I personally use a simple plan I call the 4 squares. And in these 4 squares, I add in everything that matters to make my day successful. So hold on there. I will come back to you with the 4 squares. But right now, try and get some stones. Get some big stones, get some small stones, and get some sand, and do your jar experience for me. Until next time, it's your girl here, Sandy at Learn to Thrive. See you later. Thank you.